is a great thing to talk about, man, because it's like, what happens when you get what you want? What happens when you're too successful? What happens when you can't keep up with the demand?
It's such a good question. It really is. If I was to say that I can handle it on my own at the moment,
right,
I'm not handling it on the moment. I can't.
Yeah,
My phone goes off all the time because no matter who makes any inquiry about HSCC, the first point of contact will always be me for the business, and then I handle. And now we've got a proper management now, like
good. Okay, good.
Proper management in the sense, but I still vet everything before it goes to them.
Yeah.
Right, because I won't do if some of the inquiries come from questionable means or
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't know. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't.
You gotta filter the stuff.
Yeah. We had this unbelievable offer to go and do a gig in St. Petersburg for an oligarch. It was outrageous. The terms were outrageous.
Because we all get those calls every day, Con.
And then we dug a bit deeper and realized at that time the American government had the sanctions on Russia.
Oh, wow.
So I'm ringing up. I say, you can go. You can absolutely go. But you do know that when you land there and you get the chop in the passport, when you come back, you're going to be in a world of pain.
Oh, my God.
So there's a lot of things that happen in HSCC which border on unbelievable. Yeah. And it gets back to what we said earlier about trying to take care of yourself. Every day is an adventure, and it is be careful what you wish for. Because I said in an interview not that long ago that said, I'm a middle-aged man. Yeah. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
If not for HSCC, what am I going to do? It doesn't matter that I've got other business interests or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. What am I going to do? And it's true. And admitting, you're leaving yourself open and you want things to happen, it's part of the process.
That's really interesting.
Our management, he's a man by the name of Mark Pope and Michael Chugg. Now, Michael Chugg's he's the godfather of the music promoting business in Australia, him and a couple of others, but this guy he's the boss, and he's like the boss.
Yeah, yeah.
He said there's a couple of really big bands that he's worked very closely with, and I said to him, tell me, Chuggy, and I said, and to Mark Pope, I said, Popes, I said, you guys came a knocking and we stayed in touch, and why? We're a cover band. We're at our core, we're there to rearrange tunes, and we give them our muscle and we change it up.
Right.
But I've got to ask the question why. I'm inquisitive by nature, right? Yeah. And he said, I said, is it the vulture circling because you can smell there's something here, or is it a bit more altruistic than that? Yeah. He said to me, and this is from him, and it's really stayed with me, Rick. He said it was like being a young movie director, and Spielberg comes and says, "Hey, listen."
Right.
You basically keep your ears open and your mouth shut and you listen.
Right.
And he said, when In Excess broke, because we can relate to that being Australian. He said you speak to anyone in the world that's done management or promotion. He said anything that's about to go mental has a smell.
Wow.
You can smell it. There's just something about it that you can smell it. Maybe that's just an Australian colloquialism for a sixth sense or a feeling, vibe or whatever.
Right.
You can smell it. He says, you guys are in year 1 of 10 and we've been around 7 years.
Wow.
And no sooner had he said that, within 6 to 8 weeks, Jeff, the gigs were going. It was a really prophetic moment. And I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
I did for a long time.
Yeah.
I can't. Even in the old days, I still did it on my own. I promoted did all. A lot of that's not common knowledge to people.
Yeah.
But it's. Oh, man. I can't do it without my guys. I can't do it without management. I can't do it without guys like you. I can't do it without the people that watch us every week. I can't.
Yeah. It's not a solo thing. It's a collaborative.
It takes a whole village to raise this band.
Yeah, it absolutely does, man. One thing I wanted to ask you, the choices of the covers, because it's like you guys are pretty eclectic. I mean, do you wake up one morning and just go, you know what, I'm kind of feeling like, a Steely Dan song, and then I
Yeah.
mean, how do you do that? How, is that it?
There's a bit of that. There's a bit of that. Sometimes
Wow.
I'll do a tune because I want to do the tune because
Yeah.
I know that if that tune resonated with me, there's
Wow.
got to be another couple of million people in the world that it's resonated with, surely, So, and people say, how come you don't do any Eagles? And so we took a punt.
Well,
We did take it to the limit,
yeah, you
and
did that.
fully expecting, all manner of, but it's gone great. I
Yeah.
mean, we're doing a Steely Dan one coming up soon, and that gets back to what we said
Oh,
earlier. Get the guys that I know that can play that tune, that live
yeah.
that stuff.
Because it's a different group of guys.
Different mindset too.
It's a different group of guys because it's like guys coming in and doing Journey are not usually the guys that are coming in doing Steely Dan. So I get that. I get that. So it makes a lot of sense that
The Rockers will play
you
it straight. The Rockers will play a straight -7. The Jazzers will put the -9.
sharp 11. We need to get a sharp
Yeah,
11 on this. And
beautiful, beautiful. But in terms of picking songs, I I sometimes we experiment on occasion, do something in the 90s and the 2000s just to
yeah,
see. It's more experimental than anything. But the
yeah.
reality is you can't. Our sweet spot is 77 to 85. That's
Oh, that
our
is an interesting bit of trivia, my friend.
yeah.
That is really interesting.
Hmm.
Wow. Yeah, and a lot of unbelievable music happened in
Yeah.
that time.
They say, how come you're living in the past, Con? And I say, because the music was so much better then.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's true. Come on,
You
we
know,
know it. We know we're old enough to know that, man.
I don't go into the 80s where it starts to get into all that really full on electronic side of things. It's
Yeah.
if you could imagine the way I approach literally every song, as silly
Mhm.
as it sounds, is if Toto were recording this song for somebody,
Yeah.
that's what it would sound like.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Wow. So, I came across when I was on your channel the other day, and I was kind of buzzing around at some of the song titles and stuff because I'm trying to be like in isolation with you guys because it's if somebody asks for something, I don't want to say, I can't do a reaction. I've already seen it. I've already seen it. So I just kind of like I get these breadcrumbs when somebody asks for a song from you
Yeah,
guys. So I was buzzing around and I saw Sure Know Something from Kiss. Now
yeah,
that threw me for a loop because I was like, this can't be the same. I had to watch, I had to click on it. I'm like, how did you come to this? Because guilty pleasure, dude, I grew up on Kiss. I know
yeah.
all the Kiss stuff. And I'm
Danny
like,
as
that's a
well.
great freaking tune from them. That's a
Yeah,
really good tune from them.
yeah.
And I was like, so surprised to see that particular song there
And
on the roster.
I really played around and mucked around with the arrangement on that, with that vocal intro and stuff. But
Yeah.
there's a classic example of what we said earlier. If you listen to 90% of what HSCC does, 90%, not that you would because there's 350 something songs there, but
If you got the time.
90% of the players that played on those albums are all the same guys.
Right.
Porcaro, John Robinson,
Yeah.
um, Gad, Bernard
Yeah.
Purdy,
Yeah.
Nathan East, Freddie
Yeah.
Washington,
Yeah.
it's Dean Parks,
Yeah.
Larry Compton. It's all the same. It's the
Yeah.
same, a lot of the same, and that's where
Right.
you develop Lucas, where you develop your sound from.
Right.
But that tune in particular, I know for a fact that the guys out of Kiss heard it and loved
Oh,
it. Paul Stanley liked it. And
yeah.
Bruce Kulick actually wrote on our page and says, "Man, what a cool version." But
Oh,
that wasn't. I don't know how many of the guys of Kiss actually played on that track.
right.
I have doubts whether that was really Gene Simmons on that track. It's like the Bon Jovi stuff. It was the other guy playing bass, not the
You
guy.
don't even know. I mean, like
No,
with Van Halen, I mean, supposedly Eddie played a lot of the bass stuff on the recordings too. So
well, there you go.
you don't really know. But yeah, you guys did a really cool version of that. The vocals at the top, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
see,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know not only get to hear this song that I loved, back in the day, but I get to hear a new version of it. And that leads me to the question about the the cover band moniker because it's like from doing what I'm doing, people get offended, like especially on the Leonid and Friends videos, when somebody says they're a great cover band, and then boy, they come in like hawks. They're not a cover band, and so it's almost like an insult, right? To call a group that does what you do a cover band. So what are your feelings and what are your thoughts about that?
People that get all fired up like that guy or that person,
Yeah.
for them, it's not even about music anymore. They bought into the brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even about, I don't, those kind of comments, I don't, whilst I think it's great that they're supportive,
Yeah.
that's not about music anymore. It's like when we
That's
get,
not that's not important. That's
no,
not
that's
that's
what, out of the beautiful body of work that they've just given you, they do it to us.
exactly.
You're worried about what someone's wearing. Like
Exactly.
that's what you took out of watching the
That's
video, someone's
that's
earring,
what
or how
exactly.
someone really. And so
That's what you got out of it.
yeah, and so when HSCC, went through the process of cutting out cancers, people took side. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even about the music. It was about individual vitriol towards me in a certain extent and other people. It's not about that. We're playing music. Enjoy the music.
Yeah.
It's 4.5 minutes. As soon as you finish, if you want to comment, comment. If you don't, I can guarantee you, the minute you finish watching the video, Jeff, you're out making a coffee. You're
Yeah.
out going out. You're going
Yeah.
on with your life. It's a
Right.
4-minute respite from the rest of the world
Yeah.
that more than 1 million people every week love to watch with HSCC.
Yeah.
And don't take it so seriously because we don't. We just don't. There's not a gig that we don't do that we don't shake our heads. And we're so blessed. We sell out everywhere. My God,
Yeah.
we're so blessed. We sit backstage like Dave and I, Dave, my keyboard player.
Yeah.
Mate, it wasn't that long ago. We were doing gigs to 40 people in a bar somewhere.
Wow. Yeah.
Where we are now.
Yeah.
So you can't take it seriously because it could be gone tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
right.
it could.
That's right.
Good.
It could all, I mean, it can all fall apart for various reasons. And, you take each day, you be grateful for it, and then just keep moving forward. And the thing is that I can, easily tell from you, you're not afraid of hard work. I mean, to do what you do, when you're talking about the volume of videos that you do and learning the songs and just the practical music end of it is a ton of work. Just that part. But then you got the business side of it. Then you got the booking, the stuff on top of all of that. So, I get that. You don't sleep very long. I mean, it's like you're really, really, and also, because we're older guys, dude, my hat goes off to you again, because we were talking about your health, not only physical, but mental health is extremely important in doing all of this. And you have to keep like a car that goes to the garage every month for maintenance. You got to keep buzzing and moving forward to be able to continue to do what you do. And it's amazing that you are able to work as hard as you're doing and keep this machine going. And that is awesome, man.
I look at it also too in a very pragmatic and holistic perspective. I've got mouths to feed, Jeff.
Yeah.
I've got 11 guys on the road.
Yeah.
They got families. This is how
Yeah.
they got to work. They want to
Wow.
work. My guys are so loyal. Everyone's got their responsibilities. And mate, not one of my guys has ever bitched or moaned or complained about the volume of work. Get home from overseas, I get 3 or 4 phone calls from the 11 guys saying, "Hey, boss, man, I just wish we were going out again." Oh, we are. We'll leave in a couple of days. It's so hard to find guys that can play.
Yeah.
But like can play,
Yep.
not like that want to tour, want to hit the road, because I'm a road pig. I'd spend my life on the road. I like it. I just like moving around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so you imagine any band leaders that are listening to this, right? And Leonard's another one.
Yeah.
Again, we've got to go back and pay the man respect. He's another one like me with an 11-piece, 12-piece band out on the road.
Right.
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 If they're not gigging, they're not eating.
Yes.
And if they're not eating, they got to go home.
Yeah.
So you have the responsibility of keeping people working. Then you have all the ancillary stuff. You know, you got to record at studios and at venues. You've got to pay to record there. Then you've got to pay. And Pete in New York City, he's got to be paid for his time. The videographers have got to be paid. Management gets their piece. The band's got to be paid. Then you got all the other stuff like here in Australia where you got to pay. I don't know what you guys call it over there, but you got to pay superannuation on every performance. You know what I mean? They get their band fee. Then they've got to be paid. I think it's 401k. You guys call it.
Yes. Yeah. Retirement
contributions of every gig to every band member, so that in 10 years' time, there's a nest egg there besides what they've earned. Right. Well. Deserve it, Jeff.
Oh my gosh.
But they deserve it. They're just such good guys. And you imagine going on the road, Jeff. No one's a heavy drinker. No one's a heavy smoker. We're all older. No one's out chasing girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do their gig. We go and eat as a family.
Yeah.
Up to the room, get ready for tomorrow's gig.
Wow.
Where it's a blessing that I can't even begin to tell you.
Yeah. You got the right guys in the circle. You have to do what you do. Yeah. You have to. It's a requirement on some level, and it's everybody has to be a grown-up. Everyone has to be an adult. They got to be responsible. The best way to put it. We're grown-ups playing grown-up music to grown-ups. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. And it's fun. There are good times and all that, but still, there's the reality of making it happen and being at the right place at the right time, not being late, paying your bills. These are all adult things that you got to do. And
I'm old school. I pay everybody and everything before I get paid.
Oh yeah.
Because if it's my band and I'm making the lion's share, then why should they have to wait?
Right. You're not counting the money. That's going in my wallet. I'll get you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Can't do that.
Oh,
they're such good guys, Jeff. And then I hope, I can't say too much about it, but we spoke about it off air. You're going to meet them all. And getting back to that thing with picking songs, because it's great chatting with you. Like we it's like it's just a muso hang. We just have hang.
Totally.
And I just pick songs that in some way, shape, or form have resonated with me. It could be a 4-bar phrase in the track. It could be 3 notes of a solo for whatever reason in my life. Oh, hold on. And there's some tunes I think, Joe, I could really give that a treatment without going too far outside.
Like, right.
We copped a lot of grief from Sean O'Something.
Yeah.
Oh man, Kiss Army came out in force. What is this semi-jazz punk? This is Kiss, goddammit. F you guys. I'm not listening to you anymore. Delete.
Dude, delete. I was tickled pink. So you got to think there are guys out there like me that saw that little gem and went, we never get Kiss. We never get a deep cut from Kiss. Yeah. You're not doing rock and roll all night. You're doing Sure Knows Something off the Dynasty album. Come on.
Those things they're actually great. But then there's been a few occasions where that's right. We did Afternoon Delight, right?
Oh,
we were kids, right? Yeah. You and I at age. We didn't know what Afternoon Delight meant when we were kids. But I remember hearing the song as a young boy, thinking just innocent. It was beautiful, right?
Delightful.
So we recorded it. We did, even by my own admission, we did a real gentle, faithful version of it. And like the guys that sung on it, there's a lot of stuff going on in those harmonies, right? Anyway, especially at the end. So we had a bunch of people saying, because that won Song of the Year in '74, like a Grammy Award came out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 comments. This is just absolutely atrocious. This is not Starland Vocal Band. Just leave this song alone. It's a national treasure. And then 2 minutes later, the guy that wrote the song, that was in Starland, said, "Hey man, this is great. You did it better than we did it."
I freaking love when that happens, man.
Isn't that awesome?
Isn't that great? Oh my gosh!
With Christopher Cross.
Oh my god!
We did Ride Like the Wind, and even
did he contact you guys? Did he leave a comment? Oh, I got to hear this.
He said. But when we came to the recording, and because I really mucked around with that, there's quite a few odd changes in there. Anyway, and it's still part of our live rep,
Yeah, it's a beautiful stuff, man. I love him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So when we did, every time we've done one of his songs, I've played with it. Like when we did Sailing, I
Yeah.
put a trumpet solo in the middle to double
Yeah.
that Marty and piano part.
Hmm.
But with that particular song, we recorded, and even at the session, some of the guys were like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Like this is, you're really, it's maybe you're going too far out." So
Okay.
when you ever listen to it,
Okay.
and maybe you're going a bit too far out. So anyway, so we did it. I loved it. So I knew what I wanted to hear, and because
Yeah.
the right guys played on it,
Right.
the vocals
Right.
vocal,
Yeah. Yeah.
vocals
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
changes anyway underneath. Anyway, a message comes from Christopher Cross saying, "Hey man, loved what you did to my song with those chord substitutions." He said,
Oh
"Next
my.
time I'd love to catch up." Yeah, we get a lot of that. The guys from Player, when we did Baby Come Back, a lot of the artists, a lot of times they'll write privately,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and some of Hall and Oates' band have written to me and say, "Man, what you did with that track, and we play it all the time, love it." But I can't, if they put it on YouTube or on
Yeah.
Facebook, I leave it there because they know it's public.
Yes. Yeah. Of course. Of
Right,
course.
to me personally, I never even
Yeah.
talk about it because they don't
Yeah.
want it. I have to respect them.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
it's
gosh.
interesting.
Isn't that mind blowing when that happens? I mean, I've had a little bit of that too when I have reacted to videos. And
Yeah.
then it's so funny because not long ago, I got some troll who came on and said, I hate channels like this. I hate people like you who steal other people's music to benefit off of and to make money off. This guy read me the Riot Act, right? Like 2 days later, I get a message from the artist thanking me for playing their music on the channel. And I was like, these two comments existed at the same time, but the bad comment
Yeah.
came earlier. I
Yeah.
just didn't get to the channel to read it. And I sent the guy the message. I'm like, check out my pinned comment. you know,
There you go. There you go. There was a guy that contacted me about maybe 3 months ago, Jeff, and he was saying they were about to go out on their American summer tour. I'm not going to say who it was.
Yeah.
And he said, just so you know, I love what you did with my tune so much. We're now doing that version as part of our live show.
Oh my, that
Yeah.
is the biggest
Oh, I was
compliment.
touched. I really was. We had Lee Sklar write to us and saying, love what you did with that tune we did.
Which one of the many songs that he played on, right?
Yeah, a guy like that, something happened on the way to heaven. He wrote there and said, thumbs up. I mean, you just don't realize who you're reaching, and even your channel. Don't think for 1 minute that the musical community at a certain level is a very small community.
Yeah. Right.
So they watch Stratele Studios, they watch LLB, they watch HSCC, they watch Leonard, they watch Rick Beato, and the ones that are more musical, are taken more seriously.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands out there online that mate, they're cruise ship bands, like they're bar bands. You can tell by their material.
Yeah.
Show me the material that you're covering, and I'll tell you if it's a bar band or not.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the measure of your love for music is displayed in the quality of HSCC. And that's obvious to me. I could tell by how good the group is, how big your heart is for music. It's equal. It's a balanced equation to me, because it's like the songs that you choose, because we're in the same age bracket, close. And the songs that you choose, I'm like going, oh, I love that song. Next one. Oh, I freaking love that song. And they're not all songs that are like, these are the major hits. These are songs, little obscure songs that hang out in their own niche, the corner of the universe, that I'm like, you love this song too? That kind of stuff. So I know your heart, dude. I know when you put up Sailing, or when you put up Sure Know Something, this is the kernel. This is the stuff that's in your heart. You grew up on, that makes you feel happy. And that's what I love about you guys. That's why I love watching your videos.
Imagine you grow up in your musical career and you're looking up to guys like Toto. And no matter anyone says, they've copped so much unnecessary heat for being whatever, but always generally by reviewers that have got no idea, right?
Right.
They
Right.
are the modern day Wrecking Crew. Not that they're around
Yeah.
anymore, respect, because that whole session era finished.
Yep.
So we
Yep.
recorded in 2022, we did a version of Georgie Porgy, right?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
They shared it on their page.
Oh.
Can you imagine when I'm finding this out, and
Oh.
amongst the guys saying, "Did you see this Toto?" Because it's called Toto themselves.
Mhm.
That's their moniker, Toto themselves.
Oh.
They've shared and liked our tracks of theirs. Like we did Georgie Porgy, and there was one other one I think we did of theirs. I can't remember. Rosanna. But like again, there's a classic example, Rosanna. We did Rosanna, and if you look at our clip of Rosanna, there's a full 4-piece horn section.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because the original had Gary Grant, Jerry Hay, Bill Reichenbach, Larry Williams.
Right.
That was the horn section.
Yeah. Right.
Bone, 2 trumpets and a sax. Then you need 2 keyboard players for that. One's holding down, comping the rhythm. Then you got the porcaro bits. We needed two keyboard players. We had 1 guitar player like the original, percussion, drums, bass, and then there was the 2 male vocalists, of course.
Right.
That sang it.
To do it right, you got to have that.
Well, how do you record Rosanna without 10 or 12, 14 people? You can't. It's not possible unless it sounds like you've overdubbed it or you're using synth horns or whatever.
Right.
So we've done that. Now, that's probably, well, it would be as much as like Steve Gadd's famous lick in 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover.
Yeah.
Or Rosanna for Jeff Porcaro. That's his moment.
Yep.
That whole Bernard Purdy shuffle thing, the Bonham shuffle thing. That's what you think of Toto, you think of that drum groove,
that's
right?
That's his thing. Yep.
And they shared it. I mean, you know, from Toto. And that's when sometimes you go to bed and say, you know what, you old fella, not bad.
Yeah. Is this real life? Is this?
And they could turn around and someone could turn and give you $1 million in a briefcase. You'd get more satisfaction out of someone like Toto saying, hey, man.
Absolutely. It's priceless.
Yeah, it really, really is. So it gets back to what we said earlier. We can never underestimate the power of what we do online, yourself included.
Yeah.
How would I have heard about you? I was checking out my bits and pieces, seeing what's around, and maybe some new tunes I can do. And you come up in the feed, Stratele Studios, and I've gone, what's this? First time I didn't think anything of it. Then I went, you popped up again, and then I thought, you're doing tunes, this guy. Anyway, then on the 4th day, you pop up again. What's happening is obviously the algorithms are picking up your audience is my audience.
Yep.
And you'd reviewed one of our tunes. I thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be great. Let's see. But then opened it up, and you could see your studio, and it was beautifully presented. And well, and then I thought, okay, this guy's talking from a musical perspective. He's not fanboying.
Ooh and ah.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. You'll find, you'll hashtag, and I hope you will. You hashtag HSCC in this, and you'll see.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people will get onto it. And I want our fans to look at all these other bands that are doing what we do, because it's only a small space.
Yeah,
it's only a small space. You've got your bands that have got 20, 30,000 subs. Then you've got your bands that go from say 50,000 to 200, and then there's nothing in between. Then you go into your bigger ones, and look at like Postmodern Jukebox, 5 million subscribers and 3 billion views or something. So there's that gap,
There's a lot of landscape between these groups that are on the, that one end that's, thousands, tens of thousands, and then the millions. And it's like, woo, there's a lot of real estate in between. And that is like, I was so happy to see that you guys were like over 1 million, because I'm like, well, you're damn right. They should be over 1 million subs. I'm glad that they're getting this kind of recognition for the quality of what they do. I'm no dummy. I hear what you guys do. I know. I've been a musician all my life. I know all the subtle stuff that you guys put into it, and I'll even say stuff even on your bass licks that I heard in one video. I said, I heard you, Constant. I heard that lick, dude.
That was like, funny. I remember that.
All of those little things that I pick up in an instant, they don't come for free. that comes from blood, sweat, and tears. It comes from
Yeah.
loving music. It comes from work. It comes from your heart and everything else that you put into it. And then you got other groups that are just like, like you said, we're just gonna, we're gonna be putting stuff out like a bar band, and you're like, oh, okay,
You
fair
can
enough.
hear with some of these bands, and that you can hear what their motivation is. They're
Yeah,
just trying. It's
right.
view based.
Yeah,
How can I get the most amount of views to try and earn the most amount of
yeah,
money? And
that's it.
they stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And life has a way of caressing you with this hand and then slapping you with that hand.
That's
No
great.
one, no one,
It's
no one ever gets out without being slapped.
dude, oh my God, brother. That is it. So I have a question for you. So this gets into the fun part of the interview for me, which
Yep.
is if you could have dinner with anybody who's living or deceased, you could sit down and like have a wonderful conversation with that person for an hour or 2 hours. Who would that person be for you?
Have to be musical, Jeff.
No, anybody, anybody.
Oh, it'd be a businessman here in Australia. His name was Kerry Packer.
Tell me why.
Just a titan. He
Brilliant.
was just a titan. I've heard stories from people I know that have met him and spent time with him. He'd walk into a room and just suck all the energy out. He was
Oh,
that that charismatic.
oh,
Brilliant, but
wow.
a brilliant businessman that a bit like me. I'm a bit rough around the edges. If
Yeah.
black or it's white, Jeff. There's no grey.
Yeah.
Black or white. Are we doing this interview? Yes or no? Or not? Well, maybe.
I love that, dude. I so love that.
We is HSCC going on the road when the guys say to me,
Yes
we
or
are the
no?
or we aren't.
I
Are you
love that.
married or are you not married?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Do I love you or do I not hate? Or do I
Yeah,
just
but
spend any time with you? It's one or
exactly.
the other.
Oh,
I'm
man.
in the whole loop. And he was like that. He was just that's
Oh,
what it is. And like I said earlier, and my guys know, if we win, we share it. If
yeah.
we lose, I wear it.
Who wants to be who wants to win in solitude, dude? I mean, that's the thing is that you want to share. You want everybody to. That's my thing is, man. Hey, if I'm lucky, I want everybody to be okay. If I get something, I want everyone because I don't want to be sitting on a mountain by myself with
Yep.
riches and whatever else. Who that's not
part
that's
of
not
that's part of the migrant ethos as well. It takes
yeah,
a whole village to
yeah,
raise a child.
yeah,
It does. And so
man.
he's one guy. If I was to talk musically, I would have loved to have spent time with Al Jarreau.
Wow.
Al Jarreau was mine. He was mine. Not necessarily because of the voice and all the
Yeah.
scat and the
Yep.
the jazz influence. It's just
Yeah.
his songs with Jay Graydon and all those guys. I mean, he would. I would have loved to. And apparently, from what I'm told, and I saw him 2 or 3 times live, he's just a beautiful man. Just a
Oh,
beautiful, beautiful man.
what do you think
He,
you'd talk about with him? What would you
I
ask him?
think he's the kind of guy. And it's only conjecture. I can't say it for fact.
Sure.
He's the kind of guy that you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to discuss anything musically with him.
Yeah.
Everything would be relative
Yeah.
to music.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
That kind
so
of thing.
right. So right.
And there'd be
Oh,
no political talk. There'd be no. It'd all be about just
life.
how, yeah, it would ooze music and
Yeah.
art without
Yeah.
even broaching the subject.
Right. Oh man, that's fascinating.
It'd have
That's
been,
that's cool. Okay, here's the second question for you. I might know the answer to this from talking to you, but what are you most grateful for?
of course, the first answer is always your children.
Yeah.
I'm I'm probably most grateful that at this age,
Yeah.
I'm actually living the dream of my 20-year-old self.
Oh, that's
This age,
that's amazing, dude.
the
I
body's
get
getting
that
tired, but
I
the mind,
relate.
yeah,
Yeah.
the body's getting tired and sore as you'd
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah.
But imagine, waiting your whole life for this to happen and thinking it's never going to happen, and then it happens bigger than you ever thought it could be.
Dude, there's time to rest when we're dead. That's how I
But I'm
feel
like the
about
kid. I'm like the kid that loves his puppy so much that he chokes it.
it.
You know,
Right, right.
you worry that you love it so much and you hold it
Yeah.
so dear to your
You
heart
hold
that
it so tight, right?
and I'm learning now to
Yeah.
let go a little bit.
Loosen.
Difficult, but I'm
Yeah.
learning to let go.
That is really interesting, dude. Yeah. Oh man. It it is interesting as you get older and you have things that you need to get done. And that's why I feel this connection with you about your workload, because for me it's the same kind of thing. I have a full-time job. I'm a software engineer.
Yeah,
That's what I do for a living.
it's hard
It,
work. Yeah,
it's exhausting mentally. By the time I get to the end of the day and I got to cook myself dinner and I got to come up here and do my thing. And
yeah.
whether I feel like it or not, I have to force my, it's like exercise. You got to start it. But once I get going, I'm like,
Mm.
this is good. This is good.
That's the beauty of being our age.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
ask anyone that's listening to this right now, and anyone that will listen to it in the future, to be being grateful is the beginning of a whole new way of life. And could you
100%.
imagine? I'd love to ask everyone that's listening, and should they write in the comments thread, because they
Yes.
will. They will.
Yes.
Could you imagine? Think of the thing that you love doing the most in your life, and it could be guys our age. It could be guys that love the weekend to go and play golf.
Yeah.
It could be going wine tasting. There could be wine buffs. Because at our age, I've said it as part of my monologue. When you're our age, everything looks better,
Yeah.
even though your vision's not as good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything smells better,
Yeah.
right? Everything tastes better.
Yeah.
Everything is just better because it's about appreciation. And so
100%.
this guy just wants to play golf, and I say to him, if you could do whatever you wanted to do all day, every day on your own terms, what would you do? And he would say, I want to play golf.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, oh man. Dude, that's see, hope all the viewers know we're dropping some pearls of wisdom on you here as a couple of older guys. So I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, I think that's great. Also, it's like, yeah, for those of you who are watching this on the channel in the comments, what are you grateful for? I mean, I'd really like to know. And I'll tell you what, Con, when I get comments on the channel where people are telling me about their lives and about personal things. I love those comments so much. You know, yeah, talk about the band and everything. But when they say, this song reminds me of when I used to drive down to the beach with my dad. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, oh my God. So my dad's not here anymore. But I'm like, great comment. That's all I can put. Great comment, you know.
It's so true. And what we do, music, there is no, besides breaking bread at a table with people you care and love about, music crosses every single divide.
Absolutely.
And it brings people together.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world. I mean, it doesn't matter. And I hear all kinds of music. I mean, I have favorite groups that are from Spain, that are from, you know, Sweden, and from all over the place. And it's like, it's not that big of a world, man. Those divides, you know, they're only on a map. It's really when it comes down to it. And the names of the places.
And well, even with this your interview and the guy on your channel too, you know, Jeff, we will, what we're talking about, and your other interviews as well, not just exclusively ours. There will be people that we will reach that there's just no way that we would ever thought we could have reached them.
Yeah.
And we will. And you know, that said, you know, it's corny and cliche. One of this, you know, this long interview, and I'm loving it. If we just say one thing that resonates with someone.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And
how's that not a win?
And they're out there. And they are most definitely out there, because I have seen it. I've seen it in their comments and their emails to me, their messages to me, that it's overwhelming sometimes, the effect that, and this is true for you too, the effect that you have on people's lives that you don't realize, because, you know, there's no ego in it. For me, it's just not about how many people can I get to love me. It's never been that. It's been, what can I do to make other people feel loved? What can I do to help them when they're hurting, or when they're suffering and give them encouragement. This is my platform. I don't get to do that programming in Visual Studio in my job when I'm software engineering. You don't get the opportunity to do that. This is why I do this.
I think that you picked it.
Yeah.
It picked you.
Yeah. It picked me.
Yeah.
It absolutely.
You did it, and you think you created it, and you did.
No, it was supposed to happen, and it was supposed to happen now, not in my 20s, not, or there was no YouTube in my 20s, but it wasn't supposed to happen 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. It was supposed to happen now, dude. Well, this I could go on and on and on chatting with you, man.
Oh God, you're on the fat, Jeff.
Oh, dude, it's so easy chatting with you, and I knew it would be. I'm really, really glad that you reached out to me, man, and it's been a really fun meeting you and also experiencing your music and getting a little inside glimpse on how things are done, with this group. And
it was great. One of the guys said to me, they saw the interview, the reaction before you did it, and you said, Con, if you're listening, Rara, I would touch base. And one of the guys said, you should talk. I said, I don't know. I don't normally get into those kinds of things.
Right.
And he said, "Nah, man, this guy's cool. This guy's cool. You got to check him out." And I checked out. I thought, let's do it. Let's have a chat. Why not? I appreciate and I'm not too shy to call back, mate. Ever.
I love it, dude. Yeah, and I know that you don't do many of these kinds of things, and I know that's not really. I mean, you're about bringing the music to everybody, and that's why it makes it even more special to me that you would choose to do it with me. And oh man, I can't wait to get this up on the channel.
I'm going to encourage all of our HSCC people that will be tagged in, listen to it and get onto your channel, subscribe to your channel. It's a good one.
That'd be awesome, dude. Well, I feel like I made a good friend, and we'll continue to chat, and I'm definitely gonna come see you. When and if you ever,
if it should happen,
if it ever should happen that you come out, who knows if that's gonna ever happen? But if it does, I will be there. I will be there. I look forward to meeting you in person and also the other, people in the group, and that would be a lot of fun because I watch them too. Because I check out everybody, and I'm like, oh my God, that guy's awesome. So it'll be a lot of fun to meet everybody too.
They'll like you as well, my friend. I'm sure.
Oh man, all right, brother. Well, we'll be in touch soon, and man, keep on keeping on. Stay healthy and stay safe out there on the road too, man.
Appreciate that too, yeah.
All right, brother.
Talk soon, and hi to all your listeners and your viewers, and I hope they continue to support you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Con.
See
you later, brother.
All the best.